can I speak frankly with you people out there for just a moment?
Please do.
We are in a pickle in this country. We're in a bad predicament, and the thing about it is, I hear from many of you people out there who are more afraid now about what's going on in your country than you've ever been afraid in your life. Ever afraid in your life. And we have people that are wondering, what the heck is going on? I'm going to recap for you in a moment some of the things that are going on, that have gone on the last few days, that are just quite frightening and sort of tie this all together. But what if the president were making a State of the Union speech today? I mean, what would he say? My fellow Americans, State of the Union sucks. I mean, it does. Let's just be frank and earnest for a moment, without the risk of being schizophrenic. We are in a bad state in this country, and it's because specifically of what this government, the federal government I'm talking about, keeps doing. $26 billion jobs bill, so-called, that they say is paid for, so-called. $10 billion of this is going to be paid for, so-called, by raising taxes on businesses. And you got to understand that taxes don't pay business. Or businesses don't pay taxes. They got me all discombobulated. Businesses don't pay taxes. They pass them along to you, or they lower the wages of their employees, or all sorts of different. They pass these through. I don't know why it is that liberals can't get this concept. They got it when the gas prices were rising, and they said this is going to affect the poor because these businesses are having to pay more for gas prices, and they're going to just pass these costs along to the consumer. Well, yeah, what do you think they do with taxes? When you raise taxes on businesses, they pass them along to the consumer just like they do when they have a higher gas price or whatever the cost of doing business is, they will pass along to the consumer. So what happened with this $26 billion bill that they called Congress back in to pass off their August recess is it rewards stupidity. We have some states out there that are hiring teachers on stimulus money, which was one-time money. And then the money goes away and they come back and say, what are we going to do now? We need some more money. How many times can we do this? And then they say it doesn't cost us any money. We have an unprecedented deficit and debt. The president's poll numbers are at an all-time low. Congress's poll numbers are at an all-time low. People don't even, according to Rasmussen today, people don't even trust their own congressman. They think that their own, majority of people think their own congressman is taking a kickback. I mean, the whole thing, the whole political process has been polluted because the government will not allow the system to work. And now we've got this new deal of $3 billion to subsidize or bail out people who are unemployed so they don't lose their homes. And I'm sorry about that. But we've got to allow people to lose in life. Because when you lose in life, you learn in life. I've made some stupid decisions myself. And I've learned from them. And the nobody came and bailed me out. The government didn't come bail me out. Nobody bailed me out. I had to learn the hard way about some of the things that I have done as far as my finances is concerned, to a point now where I am on a pretty good stable ground, as stable as it gets in radio, but I am doing the things that I need to do to provide for my family, and I wouldn't be doing these if every time I screwed up, the federal government or any government entity, or anybody for that matter, came in and bailed me out. You know what it's like? It's like the spoiled kid who has the rich father, and every time he screws up, dad comes in and makes it all good. He gets arrested for something, he pays somebody off, gets him out of jail. He doesn't get a job, dad pays for it. He screws up and wrecks the car, dad pays for it. And so now we've got a government entity in the federal government that bails out stupidity in the banking industry, in the car industry, in the mortgage industry. Every time you turn around, people are making stupid mistakes, but there's no repercussion. There's no downside because the government is going to step in and they're going to pay for it. So now we have the federal government coming in and paying for the state governments for their stupidity of paying for teachers with one-time stimulus money, which they should never have done. And you know that these states can cut elsewhere, but they throw the teachers up the front. Oh, we're going to have to cut all these teachers if we don't get this money. And you know that's bovine scatology. We all know that's bovine scatology. We know there are things in every single state budget that they could cut long before they cut teachers, but that's the most emotional thing. Teachers and police officers, we're going to cut them if you don't pay us. So we've reached now a situation in this country where we are swimming in debt. And the congressmen that have been to town hall meetings during this August recess and have gone out and actually talked to the constituents are hearing one thing: stop spending so much money. You are spending us into oblivion. You're spending way out of control. We don't have the money to do all this. And so now they have this second stimulus package and a third stimulus package and all this trying to stimulate an economy that's not being stimulated. Wall Street Journal reporting yesterday, as we reported to you, what we have known all along, and that is there are businesses out there that want to grow, but they can't grow because they can't hire people because people are on unemployment for 99 weeks. And so they try to grow their business by hiring new employees, and they get this: well, talk to me when my unemployment benefits run out. And they keep extending the unemployment benefits, so people have no incentive to get off their duff and work. I've been unemployed, and I've never collected unemployment. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I know myself. I know that if I have a crutch, I know that if I can rely on some other source of income, I'll be less apt to get off my fanny and find another job. There's nothing that motivates somebody more than being broke. And having been poor myself, poverty is an extremely impressive motivator because you are motivated to do all sorts of things to try to improve your lot in life. And when I was making $6,000 a year at a radio station, I was working 60 hours a week as a regular, my regular work week, 60 hours. But I had 2 other jobs. I mean, I was out there working, doing all sorts of things. And the thing about it is we cannot allow people not to fail. We've got to have this sense that at some point people are going to have to take personal responsibility for their own actions. But this government won't let them. We keep bailing people out, and we keep bailing people out, and we keep bailing businesses out, and nobody's allowed to fail. And that's why you got a fundamental misunderstanding of capitalism. These people don't understand how the capitalist system works because there are winners and losers, and there are supposed to be winners and losers. Because it's the losers that learn the lessons, and the winners learn from the losers too. I'm not going to do that. So we've got all these people who are unemployed, and they're getting their benefits extended 99 weeks, and we got businesses who want to hire them, but they can't hire them because they're waiting for the benefits to run out, but the benefits don't run out. So the economy doesn't grow, even when businesses want it to grow. The economy doesn't grow because, and that's not the only reason that we're in this predicament, but it's a major reason why we're in this, and it's a major reason why we're not digging out of it faster. And I can tell you, if we didn't have the bank bailout, if we didn't have the car bailout, if we didn't have the cash for clunkers, if we didn't have all of this, we would have been in and out of this recession just like that. It would have corrected itself. But the Keynesians out there who think that the government's got to come in anytime the economy starts to falter are the ones who perpetuate the misery long term. And that's the fundamental difference between the conservative outlook on things and the liberal outlook on things. Conservatives don't want people to suffer, but they know that the government can't stop the suffering. Not long term. They can temporarily stop it, but they only exacerbate the problem. You get the government out of the way, we know where the bottom is on this economy, and it bottoms out, and we move on because we know what's real and what's not. But as long as this government is injecting more capital, which is our tax dollars, and they take money from you to put it into the economy, that does no good at all. It just prolongs the misery. That's why this November is going to be absolutely huge, I believe, for conservatives in this country. And really, in a perverted, roundabout way, it's probably the necessary thing to do, to have this Obama administration and Nancy Pelosi and the rest of these folks in charge. Because if we had had John McCain, God bless his heart, we would have been on the same boat to socialism, but we'd just be going slower, and it would be imperceptible. Nobody would notice that we were going. Now that we've been speeding down this highway, the president loves to use this analogy. Well, we're on the road. Republicans ran us in the ditch. D's for Democrats. R's for... And all this crazy stuff. Got an email from a guy today. He said, well, will you put the gear in P? It's for politicians. You're revving the engine. You're not going anywhere. That's exactly what we're doing. And the thing about it is, he says that the R is for reverse for the Republicans. Heck yeah. We need to be backing up and getting back to where we got off the road. We're going down the wrong way fast. And the thing about it is, we got the folks in Europe that are coming back the other way saying, don't go there. The cliff is on the other side. You can't go over. Don't go over that hill. We're still speeding as fast as we can towards that cliff, even though we've seen Europe hit the edge of it. Some of them have fallen over like Greece, and they're trying to pull them up, back up from the cliff. And now the rest of them are getting back in their cars and going, that ain't the way to go. We're going back this way till we get back to the main road, and then we're going back the way we should. And we're heading full steam in the wrong direction. It's like going down the interstate in the middle of the night on the wrong side of the interstate with the lights off. And we're passing Europe coming back, flashing their lights, going, don't go there, don't go. And we can't stop. We will in November, because that's when we hit the brick wall, folks. And that's when we start to turn this vehicle around and head back in the right direction.